Now, Rosie, I'm going to make you my famous mango duck leg curry. It is delicious. It's got all the things that I like. It's got the duck in it. It's got the curry flavours, which are quite savoury. And it's got the mango just to sweeten it up a little bit.
Nice.
I think you're going to love this one.
Oh, do you?
I think so. Now, what I'm going to do is start with some duck legs. Now, there's 5 people in my family. Got 3 young boys. And so what I've got is 5 legs here. But you can put in as many legs as you want. Or you can
Or
do
I could use tofurkey or something like that, couldn't I?
Fake meat, you probably could use something like that if you want, but I would not recommend it because it doesn't taste anything like meat and you'll be disappointed, trust me. You could use chicken if you wanted to. You could do this with pork. You could do this with just about anything you want.
Yeah.
I mean, and the cooking time would vary. I mean, depending on what you're cooking with. Chicken's a lot quicker, but duck legs, they'll take about an hour and 45 minutes, an hour and a half to cook nice and tender.
And you just want to make sure you get the best quality as well.
That's most important. Quality is what it's all about. Even when it comes to, what's that thing, tofu that you like to cook with? There we go.
Love that.
Good quality tofu. I've never heard of that. But what I'm going to do is put some duck fat in there because duck fat is what gives it so much flavour. And look at that. Beautiful duck fat on the side there. You could use olive oil if you want, but I'm loving duck fat at the moment.
You could use coconut oil perhaps as well?
You could, and that would be a great way of adding flavour to this. It is sort of a tropical style curry, so coconut oil would be fantastic in there. Now, what I'm going to do is pop the legs into my hot pan here, and these legs will sort of brown off on the outside. Now, Rosie, what I'm going to get you to do, turmeric.
Oh, my favourite anti-inflammatory, yeah?
It is, and the trick with turmeric is it does stain your fingers and get them all nice and yellow, so the good idea is to give it to someone else to do. Now, I've got some garlic here. What I'm going to do is just smash this garlic here and give it a really sort of rough chop. I'm using my double pan method, my patented double pan method, where I seal off everything in one pan and then I'll pop it into the other, and that way I can get it done really quickly. But if you're doing this at home, what I would do is seal off the duck legs in the big pot, take them out, put them on a plate, and then you get everything else going, your onion, your garlic, and all the other bits and pieces. Look at this. So what I'm going to do is slice this onion nice and fine all the way through. You could leave it chunky if you want because it's going to cook for a fair amount of time. So if you do leave it chunky, it'll sort of just hold together. Yeah. But I want everything to be nice and fine so it actually falls apart in the sauce. And what I'll do is I'll chop this one up here. 2 onions or a whole onion or 2 halves of an onion. And what I'm going to do is add a little bit of duck fat to my pan here. Hopefully it's not too hot. There we go. The thing about duck fat, it does hold quite a high temperature, so it's great to cook in. And if you are cooking things like when you're rendering down the duck legs, you might want to save that duck fat for cooking later on.
Because of course quite a lot of fat does come out of the duck, doesn't it?
It does. Quite a lot of fat does come out. So what you want to do, if you can save it for cooking later on. Sure. My nana used to have lard, a little lard pot in the corner. She would always put it in there and she would cook everything with lard. And that's why everything my nana cooked was so delicious. And I can only attempt to get anywhere near her. Now, some salt goes on there and the duck legs, I make sure I put some salt on the underside as well, or the undercarriage or the underbelly of the duck, and some pepper on there as well. Now, these are browning up beautifully. Now, what I want to do is, with my wooden spoon, I just want to keep an eye on my pan here because I want to sweat that down.
Smelling good.
It's smelling great, isn't it? And what you can do is just turn that around. And I'll give you a little tip, Rosie. If you wanted to, you could actually just do this. Grab a bit of the duck fat and put some of that in there as well as it's rendering down. And then you
wouldn't waste any of that, would you?
I would never waste a single skerrick of duck fat. You can be guaranteed of that. Now, what I'm going to do is add the ginger and turmeric because I want that to sweat down in with my onions and my garlic.
Probably two of the greatest superfoods that ever did exist right there.
There we go. That'll so everything. This is a healthy meat dish as well.
Wow. We'll see what happens.
It's very healthy, trust me. Some mango powder, which gives a lovely flavour. Some garam masala, a mixture of a whole lot of different spices, and every single family has their own little mix. It's just ground up.
Going to give it that nice curry taste.
Exactly. I've got some chilli here, some whole chilies. I'll just break them up and throw them straight in like that. All I need to do is give that a little bit of a stir around. When you put the dry ingredients, they will stick to the bottom a little bit. So what I do is I just keep turning it around so it doesn't stick too much. Now, I've got some cardamom pods. I love cardamom, got a great flavour to it. Now, what these will do, they'll pop open as I fry them, and all the little black seeds will go through it, and they give it a really sort of sweet flavour to it as well. Now, this is fenugreek, which often you'll get it in the seed form, but this is the leaves, and it's got a great flavour to it. It smells like sort of tea almost. Yeah. But
I'm a big fan because actually if you drink that tea, you can have the tea. It's very good if you have a bit of an upset stomach.
Great.
Just in case.
Cures your upset stomach. Fennel's also good for that, apparently. I mean, you were telling me that as well. Now, I've got some curry powder in here. I'm going to put a couple of tablespoons of good curry powder in here. This is where I get the curry flavour from. Now, over there, I've got some mango. If you can take the mango, and what I want you to do is take the cheeks off and cut them into cubes so that I've got mango to go all the way through it. And what I'll do is I'll just stir that around here like this. Now, my duck will take another minute or so to cook. This will sweat down for a minute or so. You'll be chopping up the mango, and we'll add a little bit of coriander to it, and we'll be able to put this together and make it delicious. Now, Rosie, you can see the duck's browned off beautifully, and you can see the pepper on there as well, and you can smell that spice in there, can't you?
Smells delicious.
Now, what I'm going to do is throw in that bunch of coriander that we've cut. We're going to throw in the mangoes, and we've just roughly chopped them like this. 2 whole mangoes, nice.
The colour of that, rich in vitamin C. You know if it's that colour, it's got to be good for you.
It's got to be.
Keep them bugs away.
Add some yogurt in there as well. About a cup of yogurt in here. A tin of coconut milk goes in there as well. Some diced tomatoes, about a cup and a half of that, and some stock. I've got about 600 mils of stock I'm going to add to here. And I'm just going to add the whole lot there, turn that around, and you can see it's got that sort of orangey colour. And as the mangoes cook down, they'll soften up, but you'll be amazed, because they are slightly fibrous, they'll actually hold a lot of their body as well. Now, what I'm going to do is grab the duck legs. This is the bit that's fun. You've got to get the ducks and put them around the outside so the legs go into the middle, and that way you'll be able to fit all the ducks in there. And what I'll do is I'll put a little bit of that fat on top there like that. Oh, that'll sizzle away. I'll keep that for later on. Now, the cooking. You can pop this into the oven and cook it nice and low and slow at about 160 degrees Celsius, or you can pop it on the stove and turn it right down, let it simmer away. It takes about an hour and a half to an hour and 3/4, maybe 2 hours if it's really slow. You'll know it's cooked because the duck, when you pick it up with a fork, you'll be able to push your finger through it. It'll be nice and tender. The sauce would have reduced down beautifully, and this will be our cracking mango and duck curry. On goes the lid, and I'll let this simmer away. Now, what I'm going to do, Rosie, is show you the duck. I'm going to take the lid off. Look at that steam coming out of there like that.
That is a wonderful colour, isn't it?
It is, it is. And you can see I've got that lovely oil on top of it, which makes it even more delicious. Now, what I'll do is I'll just pick up that duck leg like that, pop it onto the bowl there. The mango's sort of held up, hasn't it?
It has held up. Make sure you get that mango.
It's shrunk down a little bit, but the body of the mango has stayed there. And what I'll do with my tea towel, just wipe down the side there to make it nice and pretty.
We do like pretty things.
There we go. A little bit of green stuff on top. And I've also got...
Spotted this one here.
This is a mango salsa that I put together. What I did is I got some mango, diced it up, because I know I want you to taste this as well. And I toasted some coconut, some desiccated coconut, toasted it off, and then mixed it through with some chilli, some coriander, and some lime juice. And I want you to taste that as well. I reckon we've got a nice little feast here of mangoes.
Look at the colour, look at that richness.
It is really nice. Now, I'm going to go over here and just pull this duck apart, and you can see if you've cooked the duck properly, Rosie, it falls apart really, really easy.
Adrian, I have to stop you there. That is deliciously refreshing. That is lovely as a side salad, but I would have that as probably a main meal. That is gorgeous.
You might want to cut back on the chilli for the kids, but it's not overly hot, is it? It's got a lovely flavour to it.
Perfect for my roti as well, I think.
With the roti in there, and I'll pop a bit of this onto my duck here, and I'll grab a bit more of that roti. This is probably, I'm glad you cooked some roti. What I would do is get a little bit of the duck here, like that, with some of the sauce in there as well, and a little piece of the mango and some of the salsa there. I'll have a tucking of that. You have a tucking of that. I think we've done some great mango recipes.
Mango is most definitely not just for smoothies, is it? You can put it in anything, pretty much. Delicious.